We are only hours into this trade war with the U.S., but Canada's aerospace sector is already bracing for turbulence. Tariffs by U.S. President Donald Trump threaten to cripple the industry on both sides of the border. Costs for the sector could rise by more than $3 billion because of the 25% tariffs. Joining us with more this morning is Doug Milburn. He is the co-founder of Protocase. That's a Canadian aerospace manufacturing firm that employs 500 people on both sides of the border. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Anne-Marie, and I can't believe you have gone right after the weather there. I'm sitting in the Caribbean here enjoying, so I'm feeling a little guilty when we start. So.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're somewhere warm and nice because I'm telling you, the trade war is on and it is frosty on both sides of the border. Canada has one of, we know, the largest aerospace industries on Earth. In fact, I believe Montreal is the third biggest aerospace hub. This is after Seattle and Toulouse in France. Why is this industry so sensitive to tariffs?
Well, the aerospace industry is incredibly international. I mean, it's just, things cross borders. Look, North America, our economy has become highly integrated. Canada, Mexico, U.S. become highly integrated. And you look at Europe, Airbus is just inherently international affair. Plus, when countries buy, civilian aerospace, when you get to military aerospace, when countries purchase, aerospace equipment for their militaries, there's often offset agreements that require the supplier to buy from the purchasing country. Mm-hmm. So these things just tie us all together, and which is a great thing. It's trade makes us richer, so trade's a good thing. So it's why tariffs are a little bit spooky. I say as we sit here on, maybe we'll call it T-Day when the tariffs start. So.
Yeah, Tariff Tuesday is what we're calling it here. Listen, yeah, it is a little disconcerting. Trade works well when it's working. Trade wars, not so much. In 2023, Canada exported nearly $13 billion in aerospace and defense-related goods south of the border. We imported more than $10 billion in return. And you say any new tariffs are going to hurt American workers as much as they hurt Canadian ones. You would know this firsthand. What effects are they going to see in the U.S., and how will our counter tariffs impact the industry?
Well, look, the words inflation, costs going up. I don't quite understand how it's going to work in aerospace, let alone a bunch of other industries where things cross borders multiple times. Mm-hmm. Industry works on margins, right? Our pricing, we buy something and we have to earn a certain margin on that by the time it goes out the other end. Otherwise, the numbers don't work out after a while. And if you put up input costs, if I buy something that comes in from the U.S. that has tariffs on it, that's going to gets passed through at the end of the day to my customer. And if that happens multiple times, it's going to have some crazy inflation. I'm going to throw one more thing that I think people really need to realize. People always think that with tariffs, that it's just the products tariff on it that see a price increase. It's not. Competition is what keeps companies honest and keep prices in a market zone. The minute you put tariffs on, it tightens supply inside a given country. And look at primary metals, which we buy to make our parts. To the extent that primary metals, coming into Canada get tariffed, do you think our companies are going to keep their prices down where they were? No, they don't. Whole market price will float upwards, and price and everything are going to float upwards. So anyway, I think everybody looks at this. I mean, there's this broad consensus that you'll see inflation from just multiple directions as this happens.
Let's talk about your company. How is Protocase planning to respond to the tariffs now that they're in place from both sides of the border? And I guess tagged on to that is, people are always concerned about jobs at the end of the day. I mean, we said at the start of this interview, you employ 500 people both sides of the border. A lot of those people might be concerned this morning.
Well, yeah, we do, and we're very intentionally in small communities. We're in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and Wilmington, North Carolina, small coastal communities. And we spend a lot of time and a lot of work to create a great workplace culture and a place people like coming to work. So, yeah, our people are worried about it. Now, all that, when we say it, the first round of this, which is Mr. Trump putting 25% in Canadian goods, we're well, and if you look at it and say, well, where's it get paid from? The one thing is Canadian currency has dropped, from the $1.20, $1.25 range to $1.45. So that darn near pays for the tariffs and anything we export, even if it was 100% Canadian goods going across. That almost pays for it. And the price increases will pay for it. And as I said, we don't have to keep our prices the same. We have to keep our prices market to be able to sell in the U.S. And prices will go up. So good, our price can go up. So we're good on that, like between the currency and inflation. And the other thing I note is that we're an innovation company. We do things very differently. We manufacture under a model, we call it high velocity mass custom. We build aerospace parts in in the industry, lead times of weeks, and sometimes 10 to 20 weeks are pretty normal. We make high quality precision aerospace parts in 2 to 3 days. Yeah. And as such, we have a bunch of customers in really strong areas like private space and electric aviation, as well as selling to all the aerospace majors. So we have pricing power. When they have projects they need done fast, we're the people that they can go to. Right. So yeah, we're okay, I think. My worries come in, as I read our Prime Minister's response today, and he talks about putting tariffs on us. And here's the thing: tariffs, it's just so. Like, when you think of a tariff is a tax on your own people and your own companies, right? Yeah. So, Donald Trump shoots his people in the foot, with an inflationary shot. Not to be outdone, we shoot ourselves. So Canadian countervail tariffs come on, and I hope they're chosen wisely. We haven't seen the second round of them yet. Yeah. But, if he tariffs things that we buy, like U.S. machinery, as one example, then our costs go up. U.S. input components, there's so much what we buy has to come from the U.S., and then our costs go up. That's the one I really worry about. That'll make us uncompetitive.
Listen, co-founder of Protocase, Doug Milburn, I know you'll be watching the Prime Minister. He is speaking at 10:30 a.m. You'll be watching that closely, as will the rest of the country. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Great chatting.
You too. If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.